Harper Audio presents This Fight is Our Fight, The Battle to Save Working People. Written and read by Elizabeth Warren.
To the people of Massachusetts who sent me into this fight. Prologue. "I'll get the popcorn." I yelled up the stairs to let Bruce know I was coming. I also had the beer and my laptop. He had the television on with the second season of Ballers lined up. Our son had hooked us on it the year before, and we'd been saving the shows until tonight, election night. It was November 8th, 2016. The polls were about to close in Massachusetts, and we were about to start our election night ritual, clicking back and forth between news reports and binge-watching something really fun on television. I had my laptop so I could check on the local races, and my phone so, assuming the night went well, I could make some congratulatory calls. Yeah, until I won my Senate race in 2012, I'd have guessed that a senator would watch election returns like a pro. A big group of people in a war room somewhere, multiple television screens on the walls, phones ringing, people rushing in with last-minute information. Lots of coffee cups and pizza boxes strewn over desks. Someone making pithy remarks about what it means that with 2% of Illinois reporting, Duckworth had a 4-point lead and the turnout in the 7th precinct is high, and so on. In fact, I think I've seen that scene in the movies. But not Bruce and me. Not tonight. I wasn't on the ballot this year, so I wouldn't be huddling with a campaign team. Besides, by this point, there wasn't anything else I could do to affect the election's outcome. And with so much on the line, I knew that watching the numbers drift in over the next few hours would be agony. For so many of these races, I'd been out there with the candidates, cheered them on, given speeches standing next to them, frozen and sweated and stepped in muck right along with them. Hillary Clinton's race, of course, was the night's biggest. But I would be chewing my fingernails watching the Senate races as well. There was Catherine Cortez Masto, a former attorney general in Nevada, whom I'd worked with while fighting the banks during the housing crisis 8 years ago. Katie McGinney, a former environmental policy official in Pennsylvania who was trying to unseat a Republican who seemed to be funded by an endless supply of Wall Street money. Russ Feingold, the former senator from Wisconsin who had been in the trenches with me as we'd fought to save families from predatory lenders 15 years earlier and was making a strong push to get his old seat back. Maggie Hassan, the governor from just across the border in New Hampshire, where I'd gone time after time to help out. Jason Kander, a progressive Democrat in Missouri who was running uphill hard. Tammy Duckworth, a vet in Illinois who'd lost both legs in Iraq and, no surprise, turned out to be a fierce campaigner. Kamala Harris, the California AG I'd gone into battle with shoulder to shoulder many times. And so many more. For months, these candidates had put it all on the line. Faces, names, stories, they all crowded in that night, and I was anxious and hopeful and fearful for every one of them. No. I didn't want to watch the numbers trickle in with a big group. I just wanted to be at home with Bruce. That night, we did what we always did, toggle back and forth between a television show and the election results, sitting on the couch, eating popcorn, drinking beer, and hoping for the best. Ballers was terrific. The 2016 election, not so much. The first sign of trouble was how quickly several Senate races were called for Republicans. Indiana, Florida. Suddenly, candidates we thought would win were struggling. Russ in Wisconsin and Katie in Pennsylvania. And then it looked like Hillary was in trouble, too. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. One car hurtled off the tracks, then another crumpled, then fires and explosions and bodies flying everywhere. As I watched the White House slip away and the Democratic losses mount, I knew that a lot of people would spend weeks analyzing what had gone wrong, how this moment had come to pass. There would be lots of pundits, I always knew. Lots of partisans. Of course, this loss happened because they... Lots of political types, certain that they could have done it all much, much better. Sure, there would be endless autopsies of the 2016 campaigns. But as that long night wore on, I found myself thinking less about the political wins and more about how
Sample complete. Ready to continue?